Alright guys, it's October 5th and I'm here in Missouri doing some scouting. I'm trying to regroup because our early season hunts did not go how we'd hoped. You know, with me and Hayden and Nick and Brett, we got on some bucks right there out of the gate. Saw some bucks, had a few close calls, but ultimately did not tag a deer. So I'm doing some scouting, not planning to hunt these areas anytime soon. As you can tell, I'm up here in big woods today. I hunt a lot of big woods through the end of October and into November. I've had sort of mixed results over the last few years, but I feel like we're learning more and more every year. And today I'm scouting for rut spots. So I'm looking for funnels that you can't really see from a map. I'm trying to find rub lines that connect back in here in sort of hard to reach places. And we've got piles of acorns on the ground this year. I mean, it seems like every oak tree I've walked under has got acorns scattered everywhere. White oaks are dropping, red oaks, pin oaks, everything. The deer are definitely in the oaks, but they're scattered all over the place. As you can see right here behind me, I've got this big bowl, and at the bottom of this bowl is a pretty significant ditch that they're not crossing. Got a ridge right up here that connects, get around over here, with another ridge right here. It's got a finger ridge coming up, main ridge coming right here, this big bowl with a ditch in it. There's trails coming down each of these finger ridges, and especially on this little bench right here above that ditch. There's 4 or 5 rubs down through there that are real fresh. I just found some more rubs right here on the ridge cap. And I'm trying to pick a tree so that I can mark it, come in here, get set up in the dark. I mean, when all those leaves fall, I should be able to see quite a bit from up here on this ridge and blow a consistent wind. Right here on the cap of this ridge, right here behind me, there's 3 or 4 trails that all come together right there. And there's old rubs, new rubs scattered all through here. So this is a spot that bucks have used in the past, and they're obviously using it some this year too, because there's some fresh droppings down these trails, and like I said, half a dozen rubs in here. There's another rub right here, actually. See right there where you hit it? I can't tell if that one's fresh or not, but I'm gonna mark this spot right here. And whenever I'm marking spots on OnX, sometimes I get in a hurry and I just drop a pin and leave. Well, I'm thinking about it right now, but in 2 weeks, after I've scouted 20 more spots, it's easy for me to forget the details. So I would suggest just slowing down whenever you find a spot like this and mapping out all the details to get in here and hunt it. So right now I'm gonna stop, take a breath, drink some water. I'm gonna mark my pins, mark my trees in here, mark the wind directions that I want to be hunting in here on, mark where I'm seeing the rubs, exactly where I'm seeing the trails. That way I know whenever I climb up in a tree in the dark in here in November, I know exactly where those trails are in relation to my tree. I don't have to walk out there and look for them again. Any added details like that you can put in there on your OnX is going to help, including your entry and exit, which is what I'm going to mark on the way out of here. I'm going to turn the tracker tool on and I'm going to hike out of here. But I'm gonna hike out of here the way that I plan to come in here to hunt it. Anyway, got lots more scouting to do over the next couple weeks. My main plan though is to be ready to roll about the 20th of October. Have a bunch of these spots pinned here in the big woods that we can come in and we can sit maybe even all day sometimes. I know we seem like aggressive hunters most of the time, and we are, but sometimes I do like to get back to just the basic fundamentals of hunting deer during the rut. Find a good funnel that not everybody is getting to and sit there with the right wind day after day. It can be real boring, but it can definitely be effective. So I'm gonna mark this spot and go hit the next one. Well, I'm back out scouting again today. It's October 6th or 7th, I can't really remember. I'm in this little creek bottom right here. A bunch of thickets and thick cover back this direction. It's just me again today. All the other guys are on their way back from elk hunts and hunting out west and so on. So I'm flying solo this week, just trying to figure out a few spots to hunt through the middle part of October and then even into the rut. I mean, the other day I found a pretty good spot up in the oaks. They'd probably be good for the rut, but this time of year is really tough. The bucks that we kill during mid-October are always so situational. I mean, you're just scouting along looking for a particular situation where you can get at one of these things, because they just don't move very far during daylight this time of year, unless you get a cold front, and even then, they don't make it very dang far. There's another rub up there. Man, there's 4 or 5 rubs right here in this little patch of timber. I'll explain what I mean as I find some of these situations over the course of the next few days here. I plan to even get out and hunt a little bit because we've got some cooler weather moving in today. But one thing that we get asked about sometimes is how can you tell the age of a rub? And old rubs are pretty obvious. I ran into a few of these in here. I mean, they're gray, they're brown, they're the color of the rest of the tree. The bark's healed back. But right here, this rub in particular is of interest because it's definitely from this fall. It's early October right now, and they've been rubbing for about a month or so, depending on when they shed their velvet. As you can tell here, we got cobwebs hanging off the side of this thing. And just by looking at that clue alone, that tells me that rub was probably made a little bit ago. I don't have any idea how long ago, but it definitely wasn't made in the last couple of days. It's starting to show signs of age as that bark dries out that they just rubbed off. Same with this one right here. That one there has got some gouge marks in the bark that look a little bit fresher. Like you can see the moisture and the sap in that one. This one looks fresher, that one looks older. And then right over there, there's one from last year or year before or whatever. So that's a good sign. Bucks are definitely using this little corridor right here. I don't know that it's something that we would hunt anytime soon though. It's more of a rut spot. There's a real good trail right through here. I'm gonna try to get back in here along the edge of this creek, look for more corridors like this, and then wherever this creek bottom butts up against some oaks, I'm hoping to find some sign in there as well. All right, a bunch of them rubs I found are just scattered all up through there, right through there. There's a trail right here. There's another trail up here in the thick stuff coming down. There's another trail right through here. And there's a soft trail right here. And as you come up through here, I mean, you see this is a perfect corridor. We'll call this the corridor spot. Bucks love traveling like this, right up against something thick where they can see one direction. They love this right here. So we're coming up on this main corridor trail, and there's another pretty heavy one that veers off right here. We got rubs all down this line, right through here. I picked my tree just a minute ago. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's that one right there. As you get up closer towards the top of that thing, there's a fork up there. And I'd say I'm gonna have to get about 18 feet to hit that fork. I can put one guy on the back of the tree, they can film through the fork, and I can put my stand, my tree stand, on the front of that tree, facing this direction to shoot. I'm worried if I put my saddle set up there that I'll lean out this direction and I'll be silhouetted on that back side. But if I put camera guy in the back through that little fork right there on the saddle, and then I put my stand facing forward, that tree should work. Then I got a trail here, main corridor trail here, and another trail right there. Blow my wind just like this, away from all the trails, because there's a creek back there. I checked, and it's got a real steep bank, and there's very little places for them to cross. Their main crossings are over here. So right here I can blow a very strategic wind coming down this corridor and cutting back that way over the creek where there's no crossings. And I'm hoping nothing will get me. This will be a good rut spot. Onward. Just look at all the deer browse in here. They're nipping all this stuff off. Right here, almost like a little natural food plot. Thick bedding, creek, corridor right there. And right back in there is where I'm gonna set up. And he thrashed that thing up. There's some heavy sign right there. Rub this tree too. Good Lord, look at all the acorns though. Little bitty black ones. Alright, I think I just found one of them situations I was talking about earlier. come up this ridge behind me, and I don't know if you can see right behind this camera, there's a big dead cedar tree right here. And I'm just in the side of a ridge. You'd never see this unless you're out here walking. Looking at a map from the topography aspect, there's nothing that kind of tips it off in any way. But you got in here and that big tree's down. And I don't know if y'all can hear behind me, but there's a couple white oaks in here that are absolutely raining. Right there. I was walking up the hill and they were hitting me in the head. This is a spot I gotta hunt right now. I mean, that tree right there is just got them falling like crazy. I come right up on this deer trail right here. You can see I got a big rub, really fresh scrape right there. Acorns everywhere. And where they've been feeding in here, you can see where it's tilled up. There's a bunch of little bitty white oak acorns right there, and little brown ones. That's what they're feeding on. But there's another trail right here, rub right there, rub up there, another scrape up there. Trail funnels right around the front. Sorry, I can't talk very good. Right around the front of that dead tree that fell. There's one trail there, one trail there, one trail there. A lot of buck sign right here. And as I'm looking up the hill, I'm seeing more rubs and bucks are in here right now. I mean, that scrape is mega fresh. I was gonna keep scouting up through these woods, but I don't want to burn this up if I already hadn't. There's a chance I ain't spooked these bucks out of here. I'm gonna figure out a place to set up, and I'm gonna bail. Here are these two trails I come up on. That scrape is right up there, about 15, 20 yards. There's the rub. And most of them trails are coming right across the top right there. So I'm gonna try to get in this white oak right here and just try to go as high as I can, get up in the canopy of that other little tree that's coming up and meeting it. I'd like to be back off of them just a little bit, but there's no shooting. I mean, because of all the down trees right there, there's just no way I'd be able to get an arrow through there. So I'm gonna have to set up right on top of it. See, there's nothing for trees down in here. That's pretty much my only option, is to go up that white oak and hope I can shoot all them trails at 15 yards right there in front of me. I was gonna keep going, but I'm not gonna pass up sign like that. I could have easily spooked one on my way up here, but if I did, I don't know about it. I thought I heard a limb break when I was coming up, but it could have just been, I mean, there's so many acorns falling up there, hitting limbs and stuff. That might have been what I heard. This is the type of situation you gotta hunt right now. While the sign is hot, the acorns are falling like crazy in that tree. And if I set up on this side hill, you can see I'm pointed downhill right here. This evening, my thermal should pull down to the bottom. And I can come in the same way that I just did. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get out of here and go get my crap. I'm gonna come in here and hang it to try to hunt that tree tonight. That's a good spot. As you can tell, the leaves have dried out a bunch. Always trying to pick up on little details in the woods. It's one thing we've noticed is in the morning when there's a dew on, moisture's falling, most of the leaves are moist. The ground's damp, even if it hasn't rained at all. So sneaking through here this morning, I felt like I was being pretty quiet, even though there was zero wind. I wasn't making much noise, but this afternoon's completely different. Every step I take is just a crunch, 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 because these leaves have all dried out throughout the course of the day with all the wind and sun that they've got. Got about 100 yards yet to get up here to the tree that I picked out earlier. I got this monstrosity on my back. Had 5 climbing sticks, a tree stand, tree arm base, cameras, water, extra clothes, which I don't know why I need it all because it's 75 freaking degrees out here. Anyway, let's get up here and try to finagle a setup together. Alright, I'm finally set up. Got my camera ready. It's tight quarters in here. I just reached for my rangefinder and then I got to thinking, I'm like, I don't think I can shoot further than 20 yards anywhere. Wind is awfully swirly. But I'm hoping that as that sun falls, the thermals will start coming down this ridge. I'll show you what I can see from the tree. I'm gonna have to sit and shoot. It's really difficult to hunt on the low side of the trails on these steep ridges. And this is why. The main trails are right here, 10 yards, 15 yards, 20 yards. But when the deer come across, they're gonna be eye level with me. So the tree really isn't getting me much benefit as far as getting up and out of the eyesight of deer. There's another trail over here on this side. There's acorns falling all over this side hill right here in front of me. That big scrape's right down here, 7-8 yards away. Then once I climbed up, I could see another scrape next to that split white oak, real fresh one. And rubs scattered all over the side of this ridge right here. If they come down any of these major trails right here, we'll be in good shape. But I'm gonna have to sit and film and sit and shoot right here in my little openings. They're definitely in here right now if I ain't already spooked them. We'll see what shows up. Got another trail right here underneath of me. I think I'm sitting too close to them, to be honest. There really wasn't a lot of other options. This tree right here over my shoulder is a chinkapin oak. I just recently learned that from doing all the habitat stuff that we're involved with. I used to think a white oak was a white oak pretty much everywhere you went, but chinkapin is a type of a white oak. It drops these little bitty, smaller in size acorns than your standard white oak. They're like black in color. That's what these deer are feeding on primarily on the side of this hill is chinkapin acorns. And you can just hear them. A chinkapin is like a sawtooth looking leaf. I better shut up and start watching for deer.
5 minutes. I can hear other deer coughing up the ridge, and I heard a deer sneeze several times straight up the trail here, just out of sight. Then I saw 3 or 4 more deer come across the top of the ridge up there. At least 2 of them were does. I didn't get a look at the last one. I tried throwing out a few grunts a minute ago. Just because there's a big one in here that's obviously behaving somewhat aggressively already, or he wouldn't have been breaking them trees off and making those scrapes the last few days. I better pay attention though, because they just kind of slip up on you in here. These squirrels make enough noise to hear them from a country mile, but these deer don't make hardly any noise coming through here feeding on acorns because they're moving so slow. Pretty much out of light for videoing, but I can still hear a bunch of deer around me, and there's something making noise down this trail still. It's been in the same spot all night. I know it's a deer because I can hear it sneezing, but I can never get a look at it. Last 15-20 minutes here, a couple times I've heard it over there scraping or making a rub or something. I know there's a good one in here. I mean, there's a bunch of deer in here. That's kind of a problem. Makes it hard to get in and out of these woods. I don't have the best entry and exit to get into this spot. There's a hoot owl up there. I'm gonna try my best to get out of here quiet and not spook very many deer, but there's a bunch of them up here on this ridge above me. I mean, it sounds like a buck making a rub right there, 50-60 yards away. But I'm out of legal, and I ain't got much light left on this camera, so I'm gonna try to slide out of here without bookering up anything. My next move will just be to look at the wind and see when I can get back into this area and scout some more of it, because I ain't been on this ridge system in a while back in here. I'm just gonna have to wait for them to move off before I climb down, because I really don't want to spook them this close to the tree. I'll keep y'all posted though, because I'm gonna be back in here for sure within the next few days here.